It's the Upstate Golf Show, hosted by Kip Kirby on 104.5 The Team.
Hey, we're back with the Upstate Golf Show. I'm Kip Kirby, and on the phone I have Pete Doherty of the Times-Union, who's very lucky to be down in Augusta. Pete, how are you?
I'm fine. I didn't realize I was lucky. I just thought I was just doing my job. I mean, someone has to do this, right?
I'll take that any day. How long have you been doing this now, going down to Augusta every year?
This is my 13th year, Kip. Started in 2004, which is Phil Mickelson's first major victory, and coming down every year since. And
you went down early to talk to a young lady from Clifton Park, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, Nicole Criscone. She's from Clifton Park. She was a finalist, national finalist in the Drive Chip and Putt Championship that's held on Sunday, and that's really an incredible thing that they do. It's co-sponsored by the PGA of America and the USGA, along with the Masters, of course. And they go through 3 rounds of qualifying, and the top 10 in each age group, it's a total of 80 players, get to come to Augusta National to compete in the national finals. And the victory really, Kip, is just being able to come to Augusta National. Obviously, everybody was trying to win. Nicole finished 9th out of 10 in her age group, which is 9 to 10-year-old girls.
Yeah, but just getting there is incredible. Just getting there. And it is so cool. And I know Anders Mattsson's been working with her, and just a lot of people have been covering her. Hopefully I'll get her on here, too. It's the Upstate Golf Show with Kip Kirby. I have Pete Doherty from the Times-Union, who's down in Augusta, Georgia, covering the Masters. And I got a couple of minutes with him right before he's got to do an interview with the amateur. And I'm sorry, is it Derek Bard you're trying to catch up to?
The U.S. amateur runner-up was he's from New Hartford, south side of Utica. Played a couple times in the Capital Region, so it's quasi-local story for us. And I just wanted to try to catch up with him to see. He's a 20-year-old, plays a senior at Virginia. Of course, both the winner and the runner-up at the U.S. amateur gets a invitation to the Masters, which no one, of course, is going to turn down. So he's been playing. He got invited here. He's been playing all week and trying to catch up with him.
And you said New Hartford, so just outside of Utica. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have not heard of this young man, so we'll have to look him up. Conditions, Pete, what's it looking like down there?
I think it's going to be pretty good from a precipitation standpoint. There was overnight rain on Wednesday night, but the forecast for the rest of the week has been good. The thing is probably the weekend rounds here are really going to be affected by the wind, and even the earlier rounds were affected by the wind, but I think you're talking maybe 20, 25-mile-an-hour gusts, and that's and at this place. The wind seems to affect the ball flight more here than most courses. Just the way the trees are aligned and things like that, it kind of swirls, and it's very difficult to read, and something that the probably experienced players will have a bit of an advantage because they have an idea of what to do with it. But that's certainly going to be a major storyline heading into the weekend here.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the last few years it's been absolutely gorgeous, and hey, let's get a little bit of wind, a little bit of softness, lights out possibly, but it's going to be a great weekend no matter what, and look forward to Sunday when we see who's coming down the final 18 with the lead, and I think it's wide open this year. I have Pete Doherty on the line from the Times-Union, again, who is down in Augusta, Georgia at the Masters. Have you had a chance to talk to Dottie at all while you've been down there?
Yeah, I talked to Dottie on Tuesday. She's her 3rd year, I believe, of coming down here. It's her first year at CBS, and she set history Thursday when she became the first woman to call the Masters. She's kind of downplaying that. She said it's something any broadcaster would want to do, and she just happens to be female and happens to be the first female to do it. But she's come down the last couple of years for ESPN, and she's still working for ESPN doing SportsCenter hits whenever she can. So she had a very busy week. She's been doing SportsCenter updates all week. She's been in the 13th hole tower. She calls number 4 and number 13 for ESPN on Thursday and Friday. Now coming into the weekend, I'll be for CBS. So, her normal job is as a ground reporter, force reporter, but they don't allow that here at Augusta National. So she's upstairs in a tower and calling shots. And the thing with Dottie, she always does her homework, so she's certainly not going to be overmatched by this assignment. She'll do a great job, I'm sure, because she won't allow herself to be unprepared, and she's been working very hard heading into Augusta, making sure she knows everything she can about not only the course but the players involved. So it's been great catching up with Dottie. She's very loyal to the Capital Region, been very loyal to me, and I'm glad that we have someone like her down here.
No, she's a great reporter, and I love the way she does it. And it's going to be interesting, again, to hear her being the first female from Augusta. Again, it's the Upstate Golf Show. I have Pete Doherty from the Times-Union. Back in the day, Pete, when I was I played a little bit of golf, and because I know you didn't write about me much, I don't think I made too many of the leaderboards, but I forgive you for that, and it's all good.
I always knew you were there, Kip. I always knew you were there.
It was one of those things when that was a big deal because when pros were in the paper, especially the local guys here, that added to our lesson portfolio. And, it was you go into the club on a Tuesday morning, and if your name's in the paper, that was big. So, and I know these guys still, it's still the same thing, but local competition here, and I don't mean to jump from the Masters real quick, but the local competition obviously has been dominated by Scott Berliner. And back in the day, Pete, though, do you remember it was there was some pretty good competitors, and you never knew who was going to win from week to week.
Yeah, you notice that kind of it's the guys now who are in the senior ranks, both amateur and pros, that really dominated 15 or 20 years ago, and there's some really good competition. I mean, the guy that always comes to my mind is Charlie Murphy. He was in his prime a little bit before I took over the golf beat for the Times-Union. Ron Armstrong, later Ron Armstrong, did the Times-Union golf coverage back then. But he was dominant. But you had guys like Joe Coleman and Rich Sarian, and just a lot of good amateurs. And then you had some pro guys that also had some success around here. I'm just thinking of the Gunnings come to mind right away. So there was really. There's some good competition. The thing that's happened in the area now, Kip, is the number of golfers is still pretty impressive. The number they have to actually have 2 qualifiers in our area for the state amateur tournament. Even if the tournament's not local, that's how many people are interested in trying to get a spot in the state am. The unfortunate thing is we haven't had a state amateur winner since 1986, so it's been a long dry spell in that way. But certainly the volume of golfers is there. The quality is slowly starting to the game. You got some young guys. The high school programs are so good around here that we're starting to see some guys come out, and some may become good amateurs, some may turn pro. And Jeff Buchanan comes to mind. He's 25, won the New York State Open last year, which is an incredible feat. First guy ever from our area to win that tournament.
And Pete, what a class act! I asked him to play in a pro-am that I've been running for 19 years, and the amateurs that played with him just said, incredible player, but more importantly, just a great person. So I've heard some great things, and we wish him all the best. It's the Upstate Golf Show with Kip Kirby. I have Pete Doherty on the line from the Times-Union. And Pete, 2 weeks ago on my very first show, I had Brian Bigley. And as far as I know, Brian is the furthest from this area to go where he's at. Am I correct in saying that?
I guess I don't quite understand what you're saying here, Kip.
I'm sorry. Brian Bigley, who I had on a couple weeks ago, being on a web.com tour, is that the furthest?
As far as advancement on the pro tour.
Yeah.
That's a hard question. That may be Brian's awfully talented, but it also shows you just how much competition there is out there. I'm thinking there might have been older guys that back in the day when it was called the Nationwide Tour and had other names that may have toiled a little bit on there. Again, Jay Gunning comes to mind.
Right.
He had a run on the pro circuit for a little while, and some of the mini tours down in Florida. But you may well be right. He may that may be as far as we've gotten as far as unless you go back to like Billy Shields back in the 50s, who actually played the Masters back in the 50s and was a 3-time state amateur. But again, he never turned pro. So as far as unless you want to go back, maybe Tom Creevy, who was that's going way back. That's he won the PGA Championship, I believe, in 1929. I don't have the year in front of me. I think it was 29, but he was an old pro at Saratoga.
The Saratoga Spa. Yep. And
somewhere else in the area as well. But that's your point is well taken. I think Brian probably has advanced the farthest, and he's a talented kid, and really gave it everything he had, and just shows you so much competition out there. It's incredible, and it's something you really, if you ever get a chance to go to a pro tournament, you just kind of see just how good these guys are, and there's just a lot of them. It's really hard. It's a really hard tour to make. It's great money out there, but it's so hard to get on the PGA tour.
Well, that's one reason why I didn't get in the paper much, because I'm playing against guys like Brian Bigley. So, I didn't have much of a chance there. Again, it's the Upstate Golf Show with Kip Kirby. I got Pete Doherty for like another minute here. And Pete, this is your 13th year down at the Masters, and do you get a chance to play there Monday, or what's that all about?
They do a lottery, Kip, every year with the media, the interest in staying. And once you get selected for the lottery, the idea is you can't get back into the lottery for 7 years. And I've gotten in the lottery all 12 years I've been here. I've never been selected. So some guys get to pick their first time and get to play the course. Basically, it's a group of probably about 40 or so media members they allow to play with the Sunday pins on Monday, and it's obviously a thrill of a lifetime for anybody who does it. Even the grizzled veteran that is going to be thrilled to have a chance to walk inside the ropes, as they say, at Augusta National. And I'm going to put my name in again. Hopefully I'll get a chance to play at some point, and obviously I'll write about it at the Times Union once I do. And
it's a lucky 13 for you, Pete, and I got you on the show, so I think that's a lock. So you'll be playing, and we'll talk about that too. It's the Upstate Golf Show, and Pete, I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know you've got to jump for a quick interview, but look forward to having you on here down the road.
Anytime, Kip. Unfortunately, any future times this year I won't be in Augusta to talk to you, but I'll still talk to you.
Also, coming up next, I got Steve Smith, another Colony person. Yes, this town of Colony connection, it's pretty strong. A lot of golf pros came out of Colony. I'm not sure why, what was in the water or something, but it's interesting. We do have a lot of golf pros from the Colony area. But Steve Smith, the director of golf at Greystone Country Club down in Birmingham, Alabama, will join us here in a few minutes, too. It's Kip Kirby on the Upstate Golf Show on 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. It's Kip Kirby. It's 104.5 The Team, and we'll be right back with more with Noel Gaybauer.